Welcome to Trio. I'm Carver, and I'm here with
Christian.
Matthew.
And today we're talking about Christmas movies. So, who wants to go out? Start first.
Well, I will say, I think one of the most brilliant Christmas movies that someone has done, because it kind of falls into two categories, is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not saying it's my favorite, but I think it's a really well crafted one.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie that would give you nightmares.
Oh yeah, and then people also wanted to say it's also a Halloween movie. I don't know. It's a Christmas movie.
It technically is. Because it does have a whole Halloween aspect to it. Which is honestly brilliant because they can basically spread it out. Like when I don't know. It's one of those movies where it could be considered either one. And I think it's really brilliant. It's not my favorite, keep in mind, but I just thought it was really well crafted.
And what's your favorite?
My favorite would probably have to be, as of recently, the Christmas Chronicles.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really know what I would say mine is, because I just kind of like all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like there's not a lot of holiday-related movies that I'm the biggest fan of. But like I said, if I did have to pick favorite, it would probably be the original Christmas Chronicles. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just find that movie oddly funny.
So, Clayton could not be here today, but I just think I would bring his up. He said his favorite was Elf, because he said because it's a movie I can watch every single year and still laugh at. Which I'll agree with. It's really funny.
Now, there is one movie that I want to clarify. So, I will say the movie that I think shouldn't be considered a Christmas movie is Let It Go. Or not Let It Go,
Frozen.
freaking Frozen.
People
Yeah,
consider that a Christmas movie?
I don't.
Some people do. Some people do.
What?
I don't know why.
I don't see how.
How is that a Christmas movie?
It has winter aspects does not mean it's a Christmas movie.
It doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. It has.
Or a holiday
it
of some sort.
It has a lot to do with the winter, but I.
Literally, it makes no sense. Like every time, like my high school does like a Christmas themed concert, they always sing Frozen songs, and I don't know why.
Dude, that one song that they sing, it's always been stuck in my head ever since that stupid movie came out.
My little cousin only heard 10 seconds of the freaking song. She started singing it nonstop. Like 10 freaking seconds of the song.
Yeah, I just gotta say, it makes no sense why some people consider Frozen a Christmas movie when it's not, clearly.
Yeah, when we're talking about Christmas movies, we're talking about like stuff that actually is the genre of Christmas, you know. And to each their own, I will admit, but you know.
Kind of a common misconception with some people is like saying like if a movie is like filmed around Christmas time, some people would call it a Christmas movie. Like for example, the two Jumanji movies were filmed around Christmas time, and they're not Christmas movies.
Wait, people think Jumanji is a Christmas movie?
Huh?
I've heard some people actually say because the scenery was
Wait,
filmed around
which one? Which one? The older one
the,
or the newer ones?
the newer ones. I'm just saying, like I don't know
I
why,
still
but
don't see it.
a misconception.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that to kind of clarify what we're talking about when we talk about Christmas movies. Um, because we're not saying these movies are particularly, well, we're not saying they're particularly like bad. Some of them may not be to our taste, but we're not saying they're
Yeah,
bad. We're just
I
saying
will
that.
say,
like I said, for me, I'm just not really a Christmas movie kind of person.
I will,
What were you saying,
I
Calvin?
will say the Frozen movie always tends to be like around Christmas time when people want to watch it. I,
Well, yeah.
I, like, I remember the first time I ever watched it was it was in elementary school before I moved to the district we go to now,
Yeah.
and the only reason why we watched it was because surprisingly there were more girls in my class than there were guys.
Oh my gosh. So,
So it was literally a vote between some other movie and Frozen, and all the girls wanted to watch Frozen.
Frozen is literally one of my most hated
so
movies ever made, by the way.
a little look into the riding to school on a bus life. Um, so the bus that I rode to school in middle school, which was around when Frozen came out, a lot of the girls like to sing
Uh,
songs.
uh,
Yeah. So for a good, I would say 3 months, every day they would sing the Frozen song. You know what I'm talking about. The
yeah,
freaking Let It Go song. And
literally, Let
it
It Go
ruined
is
it for me.
one of the most
But
Mm-hmm.
annoying songs ever now.
I'm gonna be honest, I liked the song. I liked it until the freaking people on the bus sang it every single day for like 3 months
And
straight.
instead of being like quiet, they're just screaming it.
That's the other thing. They weren't like doing the whole like just kind of singing. They would freaking. It was
Probably,
like they were trying to sing to huge audiences. Freaking.
probably like screeching at the top of their lungs.
Remember in
Well, probably not that.
summer camp they had to ban singing because were singing like the Frozen Let It Go and crap like that, and they were like "Ah!" and like screaming it on the bus, and people were like shut up.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
gotta say though, this podcast seems more from like a Christmas movie podcast to just bashing Frozen.
Well, we're talking about movies in general.
And then that I don't like that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just kind of talking about the movies in general.
Yeah.
Movies that play in this time.
Like if you enjoy Frozen, there's nothing against
Yeah,
you.
nothing wrong with it.
We're
Just
just
don't watch
saying
it.
with our experiences, people have ruined it. This is also kind of if you like a song, don't over sing it because it will ruin it. It will. Um, but yeah, uh,
Um,
One other thing about Christmas movies is like there are like so many adaptations of certain Christmas stories, like it's kind of hard to keep track of how many there are.
okay.
yeah.
I will say there is an overabundance of the story plot of the whole Santa needing help fixing Christmas thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I feel like they've gone to a point where that's just like the fallback. Uh,
that's just very
the,
stereotypical.
yeah, basically they're like, okay, we're gonna make a Christmas movie. It has to be about Santa needing to fix Christmas or something like that. Because like 98% of the movies out there about Christmas at the moment are about that kind of stuff, and it's
And, and
again,
like,
a lot of them are good. Like I said, one of my favorites. is about that Christmas Chronicles. But
Yeah, I gotta say though, that is a very common cliche in Christmas movies, but I don't know why this Christmas Chronicles makes it work. I don't know how.
yeah, Christmas Chronicles. I don't know how they did it, but they made it like something new.
I don't know why. It's kind of weird when Santa Claus of all characters is the comic relief.
Oh my gosh, the fact that he was just wearing like a leather jacket freaking
I don't
cracked
know
me
why.
up.
Every time he crashes into the billboard and screams, "Take that, fat man!" I just die laughing. I could watch that over and over, and it'd be funny.
Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to bring up, according, starting last year actually, you were, uh, network stations and stuff like that on TV and channels were saying we shouldn't watch Rudolph anymore because it
That,
promotes bullying.
that's just people just.
BS. It is actually a PSA against bullying.
The people
But
who say that are pretty much just
I don't. It's not about
snowflakes.
No, it okay.
promoting bullying though. I mean,
If anything, it's the opposite. It's literally
exactly.
saying that this kid, uh, this reindeer or whatever, was getting bullied, and someone gave him a chance to shine, and he did shine.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, this might be a stretch on that, but that also kind of ties into another Christmas more short event. Pretty much everyone knows the existence of the Charlie Brown Christmas special, right? I would say like that might be a stretch to call it like that, but it fits in that category really well.
yeah.
For some reason, though, I used to have a tradition where I watched that every day, every Christmas Eve. I don't know why.
Well, it's not a bad movie.
I wouldn't really call it a movie. I would just call it a special. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
is more on the Christmas side. Yeah, well, like I'm probably trying to imply is like there are some Christmas movies that I do find entertaining, and just some that just don't really hit well with me. That's right. I'm just rambling nonsense.
So, is there anything else y'all want to bring up?
The animated version of Grinch was terrible,
Well,
I
I
wasn't a
mean,
big fan of it. I'll admit. I preferred the older one.
and then the
I
musical happened.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of liked it, but then again, to each their own.
And
Um,
yeah, and then the Grinch musical happened and ruined everything.
yeah. Oh man. Now I will say the one thing about Grinch is there's one thing about his plot that I will say I'm surprised it wasn't called out on. Not
Yeah,
that I think it's a bad movie or anything. I'm just saying because the one thing about his plot is that he doesn't like. There's no repercussions for his actions. You know,
yeah, it's like
he's basically just instantly forgiven. Of
yeah, that is a very common cliche in cartoon movies like that.
yeah,
Like a
but like
like the main character or antagonist does all this bad stuff and is just forgiven at the end randomly.
yeah, he learns his lesson, but like he freaking put a kid in danger.
And literally received no consequences whatsoever. Like that's a
Right?
very common cliche.
Like he broke into people's homes. He he stole from them. He did property damage. He vandalized. So that's like
Okay,
three crimes
I
right there.
I just really have to ask this question real quick. I don't know why. Every time I think about these two movies, I just want to know how this would go. Who would win in a fight, the Grinch or Jack Skellington?
Uh, well, depends on which version of Jack Skellington. The one from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, Probably Jack Skellington.
Yeah,
'Cause
Jack
he can actually like,
Skellington.
move body parts, and he's already dead.
I just want to
So-
know, like, that question has been bugging me for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that is it.
Yeah.
Yes, now we are going to tune out.
Bye.
Bye.